Imagine standing before the door to a completely transformed life. You feel that something must change, that something greater is waiting for you, yet no matter how hard you try, the answers seem out of reach. You struggle, seek solutions, pray, and try to control every detail of your life, and still, the miracles seem to never happen. But what if the secret to unlocking these miracles isn't in your effort, but in your surrender? There is one single phrase spoken by Jesus that holds the code to accessing a new reality, a phrase so powerful that when truly understood and spoken from the heart, it can reconfigure your very existence. And the most impressive part, the science of consciousness, studied by Jacobo Grinberg, confirms that this truth goes far beyond blind faith. Before revealing this phrase, I want you to comment, "I am ready for the miracles in my life." In doing so, you begin to align your energy with what is to come. Now, get ready. If there's something that can unite faith and science, it is the understanding that reality is not as fixed as we imagine. For centuries, spiritual masters have stated that the external world is merely a reflection of our inner world. But it was in the 20th century that one scientist dared to go beyond conventional explanations and explore the structure of consciousness in a revolutionary way. Jacobo Grinberg. Grinberg devoted his life to studying how the mind influences reality. He believed that our perception creates what we call the real world, and that by altering this perception, we could completely transform our life experience. This idea connects directly with the teachings of Jesus, who constantly spoke about faith, surrender, and alignment with the divine. And it is precisely here that we begin to see a pattern. Both spirituality and science point to the same secret. The problem is that many interpret this wrongly, seeking magical formulas or trying to control everything through the force of thought. But the true key lies in something much deeper, something that Jesus taught more than 2,000 years ago. To understand this, we need to talk about the hidden power of surrender. Humanity has always been taught to fight for what it wants. From a young age, we hear that we must struggle, persist, and never give up. This mindset creates a collective belief that only those who push themselves to exhaustion are worthy of receiving what they desire. But is this really the best way to achieve miracles? Jesus taught a different path. He spoke about surrender, trust, and yielding to the divine will. And this does not mean passivity or inaction, but rather the ability to let go of the weight of resistance and allow something greater to guide our path. Think of a river. When you fight against the current, you expend energy without making progress. But when you allow yourself to flow, the water carries you forward. The same happens with miracles. They aren't forced, they occur when you align with the current of the universe. Jacobo Grinberg, while studying consciousness, discovered that the more we try to control reality, the more we reinforce the idea that we are separated from it. This feeling of separation keeps us trapped in fear, anxiety, and doubt. And these emotions vibrate at a frequency that blocks the natural flow of life. This explains why so many people pray for miracles, yet continue to feel fear and despair. Deep down, they aren't truly handing over their requests to the universe or to God. They cling to them out of fear that they might never come to fruition. And that fear is exactly what prevents miracles from happening. Surrender is not about giving up. Surrender is an act of deep trust. It is saying to the universe, I do my part, but I trust that the rest will be guided by a higher intelligence. In the most difficult moments, when everything seems uncertain, the human mind panics, trying to find solutions. Yet it is precisely at that moment that true power manifests. When we stop fighting against the current and say, "Thy will be done," something shifts within us. The weight lifts and reality begins to reorganize itself in ways we could never have predicted. This happens because when we let go of control, we create space for the infinite to act. Miracles are not interruptions in the natural order. They are the result of a mind aligned with divine consciousness. Now that we understand the power of surrender, we need to take it one step further. How can consciousness be used as a tool for manifestation? If the reality we experience is indeed shaped by our consciousness, then the way we think and feel can determine what we experience in the physical world. But here's the detail that many overlook. Manifestation isn't about obsessively wanting something. It's about aligning yourself with the frequency of what you desire. Jacobo Grinberg studied shamanic tribes and noticed that they didn't try to force reality to change. Instead, they tuned in to the vibration of what they wished to experience. They believed that everything already existed in the realm of possibilities, and that by changing their consciousness, they could bring these possibilities into material reality. This connects directly with Jesus' teachings. When he said, "Everything you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Mark 11:24. He wasn't teaching a mystical trick, but revealing a universal law. Consciousness precedes reality. But what does this mean in practice? Most people manifest from a place of lack. They desire money because they feel they don't have enough. They want a relationship because they feel lonely. They seek healing because they are in pain. But when we do this, our consciousness is focused on absence rather than on the presence of what we truly want. The human mind is a powerful filter. What we believe, feel, and repeatedly internalize becomes our vibrational field. If you constantly think, "I need more money," you reinforce the idea that you don't have enough. But if instead you learn to vibrate at the frequency of abundance, you begin to attract experiences that reflect that new reality. And how do we do this? The key is to feel as if you are already living what you desire. If you desire peace, feel at peace now. If you desire prosperity, be grateful for what you already have. If you desire a miracle, act as someone who already fully trusts that the miracle is happening. Jesus demonstrated this principle time and again. Before performing his miracles, he gave thanks. He did not ask in desperation, he thanked in advance. He already saw the result before it occurred. Our brain works in much the same way. When we repeat a thought with emotion, our nervous system assumes it is already real and begins to reorganize our actions and perceptions to confirm that belief. This is the foundation of neuroplasticity. Our mental patterns literally shape our life experience. So instead of merely asking for something, feel as if you already possess it. Instead of fighting against what you don't want, direct your consciousness towards what you wish to experience. But there's a crucial detail. Many still remain trapped in the illusion of the physical world, believing that reality is fixed and immutable. This is the next step we need to understand. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that the reality around us is fixed and unchangeable. We view the world as something external to us, something that happens independently of our actions or thoughts. But what if that idea were wrong? Jacobo Grinberg devoted his life to studying the nature of perception and discovered something astonishing. The world we see isn't an objective reality, but rather a construction of our minds. This means that what we experience as reality is nothing more than a reflection of the beliefs and mental patterns we carry within us. If this is true, then the suffering, scarcity, and difficulties we face aren't imposed by the external world, but rather unconscious programming that we have accepted as truth. This is exactly what Jesus tried to teach when he said, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move." Matthew 17:20. He wasn't just speaking symbolically. He was revealing a hidden truth. Matter responds to consciousness, yet most people fail to notice this. They live under the illusion of being victims of circumstance. If something goes wrong, they blame fate, society, or luck. They do not understand that everything they experience is, in fact, a reflection of the mental programming they carry. Imagine your mind as a movie projector. The film playing on the screen isn't created by the screen itself, but by what's in the projector. If you want to change the movie, fighting the screen won't help. You need to change the film in the projector. The same goes for life. If we want to change our reality, we must change the way our consciousness interacts with it. But why does this seem so difficult? Because we have been taught to trust our senses more than our own consciousness. When we face a problem, we believe it to be real, solid, and definitive. We forget that the only thing keeping it in place is the way we choose to perceive it. The good news is that this perception can be altered, and when we manage to change the way we see life, life itself begins to change to reflect that new vision. That is why Jesus taught the power of surrender. He knew that when we let go of the need to control everything and simply trust, we allow a higher intelligence to reorganize reality in our favor. And here we arrive at a crucial point. How can faith be explained not only spiritually, but also scientifically? For a long time, faith and science were seen as opposites. Faith was considered a leap into the unknown, while science sought rational and measurable explanations. But as studies of consciousness advance, a convergence is emerging. Modern science is proving what spiritual masters have always taught. Jacobo Grinberg explored this intersection by studying how the human mind interacts with reality. He suggested that consciousness not only perceives the world, but actively creates it. This idea is supported by quantum physics, which demonstrates that the act of observation alters the behavior of matter. This means that the reality around us isn't fixed, but rather a field of infinite possibilities. And what decides which of these possibilities manifests? Our perception, our beliefs, our faith. Jesus understood this principle profoundly. He said, "Your faith has healed you." Mark 5:34. Notice that he didn't say, "I have healed you," but rather, "Your faith has healed you." This implies that the miracle wasn't something external, but an internal realignment of the person. And here lies the great revelation. Faith is not merely a desire, but a vibrational state. This can be scientifically proven. Studies on the brain show that thoughts charged with intense emotion create long-lasting neural patterns. In other words, when you deeply believe in something, your brain literally reorganizes its structure to support that belief. But there's one crucial detail. True faith is free from anxiety. When you have genuine faith, you don't keep wondering if something will happen. You simply know. It's like sitting in a chair without questioning whether it will support you. You don't hope it will hold up. You simply trust. The problem is that many people confuse faith with desperate desire. They say they have faith, yet continue to doubt, filled with fear. And fear cancels faith. This is where surrender becomes essential. True faith isn't about desperately wanting something. It's about trusting that no matter what happens, everything is unfolding in the best possible way. And now we reach the most important moment of this message, the moment to reveal the secret phrase that Jesus taught us, a phrase that holds the code to manifesting miracles in your life. We have come to the crucial point of this message. Throughout our discussion, we have explored the power of consciousness, surrender, and faith. Now it is time to reveal the key Jesus gave us to access this transformation. Thy will be done. This phrase may seem simple, but it carries one of the greatest secrets of existence. When Jesus spoke it, he was facing the greatest challenge of his earthly journey. On the Mount of Olives, moments before enduring the suffering of the crucifixion, he did not ask to escape the pain. He did not beg for things to be different. He simply surrendered. And that surrender was not an act of weakness. On the contrary, it was an act of supreme trust. He knew that no matter what happened, God's will was greater than any human fear or resistance. Now stop and think. Do you truly trust the path that God has prepared for you? Consider this. It is rare for someone who has achieved wealth and success honestly not to believe in God. Those who truly prosper understand that something greater is guiding everything. These people may not follow a specific religion, but they understand that trusting the flow of life, trusting in God, is essential for abundance. If we look at those who have achieved great things, we see a pattern. They do not live in doubt. They don't spend their days wondering if things will work out. They simply move forward, convinced that the path is unfolding in the best possible way. And that is the true power of the phrase, "Thy will be done." When you say it with faith, you're doing something powerful. You let go of the weight of control. You stop trying to force reality and allow God to open the paths. You eliminate anxiety. Instead of living in doubt, you position yourself in the certainty that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You align with the frequency of miracles. Because when you trust completely, your vibration changes, directly affecting your reality. The mistake most people make is asking for something while being afraid it won't happen. But when you truly trust, you already act as if the miracle has occurred. And when that happens, life begins to reorganize in your favor. So, if today you feel lost, if you are facing challenges and don't know which path to follow, try this. Take a deep breath and say, with an open heart, "Thy will be done," and trust. Simply trust. This surrender can be the greatest catalyst in your life, because God never abandons us. He only waits for us to be ready to receive what has already been prepared. Now that you know this secret, there is just one more step. Put it into practice. Having discovered this secret, I challenge you. For the next 7 days, every night before sleeping and every morning upon waking, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say with conviction, "Thy will be done." But don't just say it. Feel the surrender in your heart. Imagine that as you speak these words, you are releasing all your fears, anxieties, and uncertainties. You are trusting that God has already prepared the best path for you. And over these 7 days, be attentive to the signs. Notice how small things begin to change around you, perhaps an unexpected opportunity, a problem resolving itself, or simply a newfound inner peace. If you truly put this into practice, you will see that miracles are not coincidences, they are answers. Now I invite you to write in the comments, "I trust the path that God has prepared for me." This is not just a phrase, it's a commitment. By writing it, you begin to align your energy with this truth. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's spread this transformation together. Are you ready for the miracles? Then surrender, trust, and watch your life change. But the message doesn't stop here. There is so much more to learn about aligning your life with the divine will and manifesting miracles. So, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the upcoming content. Here, you will find profound knowledge that can change the way you see life and awaken all your potential. And remember, when you trust, life flows. See you in the next video.